Alright, so we brought in our frame sketch into the assembly. Then we'll go to our design tab and insert our frame. So we have our materials here and it tells you where it wants to be sketched or placed. So depending on where you have this sketch based off of. So if you actually want it to be on the center or on the left or on the bottom corner. So I'm assuming that if we're looking at the top view, that you want everything to be on the inside. That's just trying to guess and it doesn't really matter, but it's up to you. Just be aware that you can locate it. So like on these ones, if you wanted these to be on the middle, then you would just create it on a different frame, not all at once, or you just have it on the middle line. So kind of just depends on where you want it. Go through and do it like this. So on this, it goes all the way into the inside and then shows like it's down and then it goes inside that way. So just be aware of that. And then OK, and then it'll create all your names, your frames on the inside here. So now we have all of our different parts and it shows them up. There's a couple different ways to do this. Make sure you have shaded with edges on. It makes it a little bit easier because otherwise you really can't see what's going on there. You can do trim to frame, trim extend, miter, or notch. Depending on how you want these end treatments to go, you can just miter them in. Makes it real easy, makes them pointy and smooth around. Or you can do a trim extend. So yeah, take this one and we're going to take to this face and do apply. So it'll just go to that face. So depending on where you want it, so let's say if we actually wanted this one to be long, so we'd want to trim this one to that face. Apply. There you go. So it just depends on kind of how you want it set up. If you want them to be a mitered corner or like that. Same thing with here. If we wanted to have this part onto this face, apply. Now see how it cuts it off here and there? Well, alternatively, for instance, you could do a notch, and that way it'll keep this little inside lip. So you take that part, and then the next one, apply. Oops, just kidding. Notch this member, and then that one. There you go. So then you'll see this little notch come in. So if we actually isolated this part, you'd see that happening. And let's see. I don't think that's probably what you're looking for. There. So you have to do a little bit extra on that one because it's going through the part. But then you get your little thing right there. Alternatively, again, you can trim to frame, and then take this frame member, apply, and it goes all the way. So instead you want to do trim extend, otherwise it chops off the other one to there. So you can trim it to here, and then do. See, I think the reason in this case that you would want to do the frames to the center line is so that they don't overlap into here and have that little excess. That's just kind of something you have to get used to as you kind of play with it and see how it works. Because it will leave that. So then you'd have to do trim extend, trim this one to this face. And what I'm really getting at is, so if we delete this, if you insert our frame, I just did that wrong. Insert our frame to the center. That way, when you actually look at it, it's not going to go all the way through and have that on the other side. So just some things to be aware of. If you do it to the outside, subsequently, show you the other way, is now that you don't have to trim it because now it's on the inside. So if you know the actual width of the beam, you can do it to the inside, then you don't have to do as much trimming. You can trim multiple ones at once. But basically just play around with these little options. You'll figure out what works best for you. So if we extended this to there, we still have to come back in and notch it to there. So as a general rule, I would say go to the middle is going to give you the best results as far as having to do less trimming if you're going to notch. If you're not, then just doing it to the inside will give you the results that you see here. So hope that helps you out.